Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today we are diving deep into a timeless tale that has captivated hearts for generations, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It's a story many of us think we know, but let's journey back to that enchanted kingdom and rediscover its magic together. Once upon a time, in a faraway land, a beautiful queen sat sewing by her window during a winter snowfall. She pricked her finger, and 3 drops of blood fell onto the snow. Admiring the contrast, she wished for a child with skin as white as snow, lips as red as blood, and hair as black as ebony. Her wish came true, and she gave birth to a lovely princess named Snow White. But tragically, the good queen passed away soon after. The king, her father, eventually remarried. The new queen was stunningly beautiful, but her heart was filled with vanity and jealousy. She owned a magic mirror, and every day she would ask it, "Magic mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?" And every day the mirror would reply, "You, my queen, are the fairest of them all." This pleased her greatly, as she knew the mirror never lied. But Snow White grew more beautiful with each passing year. One day, the queen asked her mirror the usual question, but this time the answer was different. The mirror declared, "My queen, you are fair, it is true, but Snow White is 1,000 times fairer than you." The queen was consumed by rage. Her jealousy was so intense that she ordered her huntsman to take Snow White into the forest, end her life, and bring back her heart as proof. The huntsman, however, couldn't bring himself to harm the innocent princess. He told Snow White to run away and never return. To deceive the wicked queen, he presented her with the heart of a young boar instead. Believing Snow White was gone, the queen's vanity was satisfied for a time. Meanwhile, Snow White fled deep into the woods. Frightened and alone, she wandered until she stumbled upon a tiny, charming cottage. Hesitantly, she went inside. Everything was small and a bit untidy. There was a little table with 7 small plates, 7 small cups, and by the wall stood 7 little beds. Exhausted, Snow White ate a little from each plate, drank a little from each cup, and then, finding one bed that was just right, she fell fast asleep. When evening came, the owners of the cottage returned. They were 7 dwarfs who worked all day, mining for gold in the mountains. They were astonished to find their home had been visited, and even more surprised to find a beautiful princess sleeping in one of their beds. When Snow White awoke and told them her story, their hearts went out to her. They offered her shelter, asking only that she keep the house tidy, cook, and be their friend. Snow White gratefully agreed. Her days became filled with warmth and kindness, a stark contrast to her life in the castle. But back at the castle, the queen consulted her mirror once more. "Magic mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?" she asked, expecting the old answer. To her horror, the mirror replied, "Over the 7 mountains with the 7 dwarfs, Snow White is still alive and well, and she is 1,000 times fairer than you." The queen was furious. She realized she had been tricked. Determined to be the fairest, she disguised herself as an old peddler woman and journeyed to the dwarf's cottage. She offered Snow White beautiful, tightly laced bodices. Snow White, not suspecting a thing, allowed the old woman to lace her up, but the queen pulled the laces so tight that Snow White couldn't breathe and collapsed. Thankfully, the dwarfs returned just in time and cut the laces, reviving her. Undeterred, the queen tried again, this time disguised as a different old woman, selling a poisoned comb. She brushed Snow White's hair with it, and the princess fell down as if lifeless. But once again, the dwarfs came to the rescue, removing the comb from her hair. For her third and final attempt, the queen crafted her most wicked plan. She created a poison apple, half of which was perfectly fine, and the other half, a beautiful red, was lethally poisoned. Disguised as a farmer's wife, she offered the apple to Snow White. To prove it was safe, the queen took a bite from the white, harmless side. Convinced, Snow White took a bite from the red, poisoned side and immediately fell into a deep, death-like sleep. This time, when the dwarfs returned, there was nothing they could do. Believing she was finally gone, they placed her in a glass coffin so they could still admire her beauty. They guarded her day and night. One day, a handsome prince was riding through the forest and saw the beautiful princess in the glass coffin. He was so enchanted by her beauty that he begged the dwarves to let him take her back to his castle. As his servants lifted the coffin to carry it away, they stumbled. The jolt dislodged the piece of poisoned apple from Snow White's throat. Her eyes fluttered open. She was alive. The prince was overjoyed and declared his love for her. Snow White, seeing his kind heart, fell in love with him too. They planned a grand wedding, and guess who was invited? The wicked queen. When she asked her mirror who the fairest was, it replied, "The young queen is 1,000 times fairer than you." Enraged, she went to the wedding, only to discover the new queen was none other than Snow White. As punishment for her wickedness, she was made to dance in red-hot iron shoes until she fell, her reign of vanity and cruelty over at last. Snow White and her prince lived happily ever after, ruling their kingdom with kindness and grace. Thank you so much for watching and sharing this classic story with me. If you enjoyed this trip into a fairy tale world, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories. See you next time.